Americans call it equity. Look at things like social shares, communications. You see crowdfunding in telecommunications. We see crowdfunding in media. We see crowdfunding in digital enterprise. We see crowdfunding with startups. We see crowdfunding with fintech companies, fundraising. We see crowdfunding in cloud, gaming, green tech, securities. We see crowdfunding in many, many areas. Crowdfunding will be explained shortly. Crowdfunding is when you put together resources for certain projects. When individuals come with their technical expertise, when they come with their resources, when they come with their money to embark on a particular project. So crowdfunding is also a philosophy of cooperatives. Of course, there are certain differences. You can distinguish between a crowdfunding program and a cooperative, okay? There is true. And in fact, the MLM model also works with a crowdfunding. It's underneath it is a crowdfunding process. You can also distinguish between the multi-level marketing organization and the cooperative and the crowdfunding process, but they have similarities. The similarity of all three is working with a number of people, sharing resources. The similarities is people empowering people, peer-to-peer, multi-level, networking, coming together of resources, coming together of people. That's the common factor that a cooperative, a crowdfunding organization, a multi-level marketing or network marketing company, that's one thing they all do. So let's define what crowdfunding is. I'm sure you've heard crowdfunding. What is this crowdfunding? What do we mean by it? Now, Duncan Niederer, former NYSE Chief Executive Officer, said that crowdfunding, he said that crowdfunding will become the future of how most small businesses are going to be financed. A lot of organizations, including yours, small businesses that are supposed to take off, will take off because people come together in a cooperative, people come together, form a team and raise funds to start up a project. So it's the future of enterprise and it's the future for any small business, all right, for any startup. All right, look at what Rodrigo Nino, founder and CEO of Prodigo Network, says about crowdfunding. He says that crowdfunding is creating a new public market which connects common people with investment opportunities that used to be accessible only by the very rich. So here's how this works. Here's the meaning of this. When you are in a space where people are, sharing resources, learning, earning, sharing ideas, contributing. In a cooperative, for example, somebody in the cooperative may have a project that everybody considers viable. And so the cooperative now decides, let us crowdfund and make sure this person benefits. Okay, a few persons are interested. So they come together, they now crowdfund that project. They now give resources to that project. The person in question who is receiving the money now makes a promise. So, okay, I'll do the business. At the end of the day, this and this is what so-and-so person who has invested will get. All right, so that opportunity is available in a cooperative. It's very available where people can invest in your business, where other people can invest in business and get equity. They can invest in your NGO. They can get, by you creating a donation link or a project link, they can easily invest them, or not necessarily invest, donate, support a work, support a social enterprise. So there are various, so crowdfunding, look at that shortly, but here's the point. By embracing a crowdfunding system or participating in crowdfunding system, what you do automatically is that you get yourself to also have that opportunity to be wealthy. The number one challenge of the entrepreneur is funding. Funding, because I taught you that there is capitalization, there is undercapitalization, and there is overcapitalization. Now, the best thing that you want for your business is just enough capitalization. Because under capitalization, we can also add no capitalization. That is, when a business doesn't have capital to move, it's a challenge. Okay, there are people who have resources. Maybe they have saved over a period of time, but they don't have that enough money to start. So they have they are undercapitalized. They need funding. All right. So one of the challenges and the major challenge any entrepreneur has is I want to fund my business. So undercapitalization, that's not good for any business. Then overcapitalization. Overcapitalization means that you have more money than necessary. You have some people's businesses with less than a million naira can start off and then grow, but they have access to 5 million naira. They have access to 6 million naira. They have access to 7 million naira. And because they have access to more than enough, they begin to make rash decisions, begin to make decisions that are not beneficial to that business. There's a lot of wastage. There's a lot of unnecessary spending because they were overcapitalized. So what any entrepreneur needs is just enough capitalization. And that will happen when your opportunity, when your idea, when your plan, when your proposal encounters a VC. VC means venture capitalist, or an AF. AF means angel financier. When these people get to see your project, get to see it, and can read about your viability of it, they can support your work. So that's one thing that by plugging into a cooperative, or plugging into a multi-level marketing company, or plugging into a crowdfunding system, you have access to funding. All right. Now, this is what Ethan Mollick says about crowdfunding. He says that the unique value of crowdfunding is not money, it's community. I've told you that having that your contact determines your contract, and that your network determines your network, that at every now and then, you need to be in a community where you can easily raise funds. So yes, they can give you ideas, and funding doesn't necessarily have to be money. Funding sometimes can be access. Funding sometimes can be access, access to other networks, can be resources, can be things, technical expertise, just because you are in a community. So the real goal and value of crowdfunding is not the money that you have access to, it's a community and the access, the resources, technical resources, particularly that you have access to just because you're in that community. Look at what Josephine Delemans once said. He said that crowdfunding isn't about collecting money. It's about making something happen with a crowd of people who believe in something. Normal people, not rich people with a lot of power, just people like you and me. And that's very strong. It's not about collecting money. It's about making something happen. I was talking to somebody the other day, on Friday. It was Friday, that was yesterday. And the person told me how successful, I don't know if she's here today, how she's doing her business very well. She's doing a corporate business and she's raised more than 100,000, and her husband, who she has put into the system, is edging close to 64,000, and she's doing the business. She's excited about the business and she's doing a lot with the system. I'm like, whoa, I was excited for her because she's seeing the benefit of the system. Now, Rodrigo Nino, CEO of Prodigy Network, says that in crowdfunding, the interest of the individual is aligned with the interest of the crowd. Okay, this also some very strong statements that people have said about the concept of crowdfunding. What is crowdfunding? It's a practice of soliciting financial contributions from a large number of people, especially those. So when you go to your dashboard in eCooperative and you source, that part is what really this is all about. That when you click on project, what should happen is you are able to create a donation link or a crowdfunding link. In that link, you put your title, you put the image of the project or the images of the project, and then you have to write some kind of description explaining in detail so that anybody who sees it will understand the impact of it. If it's a health condition, the person will be able to know the details of it and probably pick up proof. So that with a link, now the link is made available by eCooperative, you can get free donations. It can also be a social enterprise. A social enterprise is a business that's more focused on impact and not just on income. And most NGOs, most charities, and most foundations fall into that category. So if you have a foundation, you can use the eCooperative platform, click on projects, and then put up something out there. People can give donations. There are some individuals who want to put together a plan, put together the idea out there in a simple marketable pattern, and share the links with people. Both people. The interesting thing is that when you upload that stuff, people in the system can also contribute to your business. It depends on what your promise is. So you have different categories in the system. You can choose for donations. You can choose to get people to, we'll look at that shortly, to put get equity or get a percentage or get return on investment as they put in their money in your crowdfunding product. So the practice of soliciting financial contributions from a large number of people, especially from the online community, that's how the Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines crowdfunding. Now, crowdfunding is exactly what it sounds like. A business owner or entrepreneurial individual seeks the capital necessary to grow their business via appealing the global investing public. There are people who are in eCooperative who are very smart, who are venture capitalists, who are looking for grand ideas. So when that part is started, you'll notice that people can look at your ideas and be interested in connect with you. All right, so that's basically what you can do. You can also do crowdfunding on social media. People do that a lot. When you solicit for funds, usually we use it for just funds for people that are sick or to raise funds for somebody who has an issue. But in America, as we will get to see shortly, crowdfunding goes beyond that. There's something called equity crowdfunding, where people are promised a return on investment. So it attracts not just investors, VCs, but plenty of individuals to come put in their money so as to support that project. Investors may be individuals, they may be SMSF, they may be, that's SMSF means small, medium scale funders. The book called Small, Medium Scale Funders. And there's other book called Venture Capital Funds. Venture Capital Funds are individuals, organizations who contribute to businesses, who contribute to projects with the expectation in return. Okay, so the social media form. So when you see different concepts of crowdfunding, I told that crowdfunding is not just limited to those definitions I've given to you, not just the Merriam-Webster definition. Crowdfunding also means quite, and you can see it a lot. You see, like I mentioned, when we click on projects on the eCooperative platform, crowdfunding thing, you can put in your stuff there. Crowdfunding, you see crowdfunding in startups. Most startups need money to begin and can be crowdfunded. Usually, crowdfunding setup, there are investors, the people who have monies to put in. They could be the everyday people, or they could be VCs that want to put in money. All right, one of the things you want to talk about in a crowdfunding program is whether there will be profit, whether there will be profit, whether it's non-profit. In a crowdfunding program like what eCooperative also represents, there is microcredits. You get access to loans, right? You can get access like a loan. It's like a loan they're giving to you. Go push that business. Once you're done with the business or you've got it, come and return back the money. And then you also see the P2P lending. This is very common in the cryptocurrency space. The cryptocurrency space uses a lot of crowdfunding initiatives. And now, of course, one of the things you also noticed about the crowdfunding platform is the web platform. All right. So there are a lot of people who have put together articles upon articles. You can go online and read about crowdfunding. You don't just think, oh, crowdfunding is ponzi. That means your mind is limited. And the quality of your life is depending on the quality of your thinking. You want to be exposed. So this is a issue brief that was put together in July 2021, issue number 309. And he's just talking, it's an article about developing a policy framework for emerging crowdfunding ecosystems. So people have come to realize that the crowdfunding system works, and they are working on articles, working on ideas, working on strategies for people to be able to access funding through crowdfunding. And that's why eCooperative is a fantastic business. Most of us have not even scratched a bit of what eCooperative can do for us. we're still doing the MLM part, we're still doing maybe the selling part. There's a lot more that will be unraveled as time goes on, especially through the crowdfunding stuff. Now, according to a 2017 stats by Mass Solution, they said that this is how people raise funds. Most people raise funds through crowdfunding. 2017, 41.4% of business entrepreneurs were able to raise funds, for their businesses, for the enterprises through crowdfunding. And the music and recording artists, a lot of music and recording artists in America, this should be an European platform. Okay, Africans have not fully embraced it. That's why eCooperative is coming to enlighten and awaken Africans to embrace this opportunity. All right, music and recording artists, 4.5% of people would use that to crowdfunding. Real estate business can also be, you can also come together and put funds together for crowdfunding. There are people, I know somebody who's into real estate, and there are a lot of ideas around real estate. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to own a piece of property. You can join a crowdfunding group, which I'm certain that eCooperative will also embrace. Because eCooperative is about coming together, community, because that's the future. Collaborations, ecosystems together. You put resources and then you buy a property, you renovate the property, and then you give it out for rentals. And then we can all share, some percentage or some monies, depending on how much you've invested in. So 6.2% of individuals, this is a global statistic, but were able to raise up capital for their real estate business, 6.2%. And then for films and performing art, we see that 12.2%. For most movies you see was crowdfunded. So you want to produce a movie, you get the people to crowdfund it for you, not just one particular person, a group of persons to crowdfund it for you. And then you put out the project, and when you put it on Netflix or you put it on, what's the one by DSTV again? Forgot the name. Always very popular everywhere. During the Big Brother Nigeria show, they were promoting it so much. Okay, they have other platforms. Maybe you go to take it to cinemas, so take it to people begin to download, stream, and then from the monies you make, now you give back, or you pay equity to those people. Then, interestingly, 18.9% of people raise their funds through crowdfunding, social causes, maybe like NGO works. That's how they raise their funding. But guess what? Businesses and entrepreneurs still use crowdfunding to raise their funds. That's why eCooperative is a business that you should. Another stat says that small businesses use 70%. I mean, this is a global stat. Got their money through crowdfunding. Animal welfare 5%, arts and sports 3%, community charity 7%. That's then death and funeral. Again, even in Africa, we do that a lot. Somebody is dead, somebody is dying, and then we want to raise funds. I mean, the whole police begin to bring up money. That's crowdfunding we're doing. That's crowdfunding. I know that in this part of where I stay, wedding is not communal. Wedding is, the man goes look for the money. The man is not ready financially. He's not able to get married. But in southwestern parts of Nigeria, particularly, I don't know if it has changed, but it's not the man that gets married. It's the families. They come together. They put resources together. They crowdfund, and then they do that wedding out. So, but in my own side, when it comes to death, when it comes to burial ceremony, they will send you lists of things everybody should do. So crowdfunding is something that we do. That's also the same idea with cooperative. I told you that crowdfunding and cooperative have some similarities. Friend and support, full supply. So that's basically what we want to share. So are there crowdfunding organizations, that like eCooperative? It's good I just mention a few of them, and maybe you can also check them out so that you're not myopic. You're thinking, so we're discussing things like this. You're not just thinking, is anything like that in the world? Are there established crowdfunding platforms like now eCooperative is it's not just doing things. eCooperative does eLearning, eCooperative does eSavings, eCooperative does eCommerce, does a lot of those things, little bit of it on the platform. So there are a lot of them. So you can check out, just Google up and read about them. Seed Invests, it's a fantastic opportunity, a fantastic plan. The one I know very well is Kickstarter. It's for entrepreneurs who want to start their businesses. They go there, crowdfund. Of course, these are foreign platforms. And so They are not very in Nigeria. Well, Google give it a shot if you know what you're doing. Micro ventures, Indiegogo, Pledge Music is something that people who are musicians can use to raise funds. We Funders is another platform. Seed Engine, Republic, Flash Funders, Barn Raisers. Barn Raisers is for farmers who have agricultural produce they want to create. They do that. Seed and Spark is another crowdfunding platform. And Next, that does that to share these platforms with you because they are already existing. So eCooperative is not new. Perhaps they are one of the very few in Nigeria and Africa, but people have been doing that. If you look at what are the types of crowdfunding platforms? So like I already said, we have what is called donation crowdfunding. Maybe you want to just donate to your church, donate to a charity cause. There are certain platforms in eCooperative you can do that. All right, there's reward crowdfunding for being a part of this system. This is the reward you're going to have. Like you're going to get paid, you're going to get this reward. It doesn't have to be money. Like the community goes to a village, they want to raise a borehole so that water can be made available for everyone. Maybe they will sell the water at a very affordable rate, maybe at 5 naira per or 10 naira per scoop or per 550 liters. So they need to crowdfund. The village head gets people to come together and everybody crowdfund. People put their money. There's anybody who can give XYZ amount of money, over a period of time. We're going to have a wall where the borehole is. On that wall, we'll write the names of everybody who contributed. So eternally, our children will get to know that this wall will stand as a symbol, will epitomize that everybody that made this borehole or created this hospital. So that is how reward. So for people, that is good enough. So in the history of the community, referred to either in the newspaper, in the community paper, or on the wall where their names are written down. So that's reward crowd. That's how reward crowdfunding works. Equity crowdfunding is when, because you invested in a certain project, you now have a stake, you now have a share in that business. And tomorrow you can choose to say, I want to liquidate, I want to sell off my share to somebody else. Okay, you have a share in that business. Debt crowdfunding is when you give something like a loan to an entrepreneur or to a business, and the person will pay you back the money plus a bit of interest. So once he pays you back the money and interest, you're no more in the system again, not in the crowdfunding system. But equity, you put in the money and your stake is there perpetually for a certain period of time. So those are different types of crowdfunding systems that we have. So there's a donation-based fund provided as a gift with nothing expected in returns. Debt-based fund provided expecting a return of capital plus interest. Equity-based investors receive equity in the venture for a return of the investment. Reward-based, rewards often being produced is provided to the investors. Pro-social lending-based funding provided as debt without interest that emphasizes pro-social social lending. What that simply means, what pro-social lending is that you give a loan to a certain entrepreneur. A crowd of people give a loan to an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur starts the business and then executes the business. All right. The idea basically is we are not looking for interest. Just give us back the money we gave to you. That one is what that means. All right, so just a little bit of reward crowdfunding. Example of reward crowdfunding, something like Kickstarter. We already mentioned Kickstarter is the world's largest reward crowdfunding platform. It was launched on April 28, 2009 in New York as an alternative way to raise funding for performance arts projects and production. So performing arts, that's how Kickstarter started. What's more about them? Its model was encouraging low-value donations from a large group of people rather than a lot of money from a few individuals. So rather than have plenty money from few individuals, let's have more people contribute their monies in there. All right, so it has raised almost $3.5 billion through hosting. Okay, it has hosted, as at the time this put together, 124,935 successful projects. The figures are updated daily by Kickstarter. Go check them out. Successful projects pay 5% commission plus 3% transaction charges. And what does that mean is that how does the Kickstarter make money? Because they are placing the platform for you to raise funds for your project, Kickstarter will now generate, will now get them. That's the same thing that eCooperative will do when that project is launched. You will now be able to get funding for business. Another business that is similar to what crowdfunding is, Indiegogo actually launched first in January 2008 in San Francisco, again as an alternative way to raise funds for arts projects. Indiegogo, all right, Indiegogo also quickly grew to host projects in many different categories. They've increased their categories, not just performing arts. A significant difference is that Indiegogo allows projects to receive the money that's pledged, even if they fail to reach targets. Now, in Kickstarter, you have to reach, you put out the targets you want to reach, okay? And then you have to reach it for you to extract the money. But what differentiates them that even if you don't reach a product, you fail to reach your target, you can get the money out. When this happens, their regular 5% rises to 9%. So if you raised ₦1 million, the product was supposed to be 2 million naira, but after a certain period, you raised ₦1 million, and you want to take out the money, they will take out 9% of that money and keep. This is how they make it. Plus, there are always transaction fees, approximately 3% on every product. So same thing with pledge music. That is, of course, like the name implies, is for musicians. All right. It's a third place behind these two giants as measured by website traffic. It was launched in August 2009. Aiming to do for the music industry what Indiegogo and Kickstarter were doing at the time for other art genres. It is used by all types of people, from hopeful wannabes to established performers with an existing fan base. Seed and Spark is an industry-specific crowdfunding platform for TV and film industry. Say a lot of film industry, and it's based in Los Angeles. It was launched in December 2012 within an overall aim to build an independent film community. It provides filmmakers with a reward-based crowdfunding facility. They claim a 75% success with Seed Sparks. All right, Barnraiser is a platform for artisan food producers, small farmers, and exponents of sustainable, healthier living. It encourages its community of over 30,000 like-minded people to crowdsource advice and contact from other people, you should see that crowdsource. Now, there's something called crowdfund. There's also crowdsource, and also provides a world crowdfunding facility, which claim has 65% success rate. It was launched in 2014, and 187 projects have been successful. The largest amount raised at the time of this posting was $93,000, 190. All right. So farmers, they can crowdfund for farms. They can crowdfund. So crowdfunding has been there. That is reward-based crowdfunding. Now, what is equity? Equity crowdfunding is a system where you have a stake. You get money back. You have like a share, in the system. Let me be sure that we have people in this. Let me be sure that you're here. If you're here with me, I want you to say, I'm here. Let me hear. I don't want to continue until I can get that feedback. If I'm making any sense at all, let me know that I'm making sense. Say I'm making sense. Let me know that I'm making sense. I won't continue if I don't get that stuff. Please, just say making sense. Okay, I see you. Okay, my prince, making sense. Thank you. Boys Ndede, making sense. Bolanle Adepoju, making sense. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's good to know that you guys were following. All right. So let me continue what I was doing. I will soon be wrapping up shortly. So there are other crowdfundings. When you hear crowdfunding, don't let the first thing that comes to your mind be another element. No, calm down. This is researched work, right? It's something that we've done. You have taught this before, but it's good that you hear it again. There are organizations. So when eCommerce says it's a project, there's crowdfunding project, they know what they are doing. until their savings, their platforms that save. When they tell you they are do the MLM part, you know. So WeFounder is the early market leader and was launched in 2012. The minimum investment is $100. Okay, you put $100. The WeFounder has created internal investors club in order that part-time investors in his network can access the wisdom and leadership of more experienced professional investors and combine them with them on equal terms. So what happens is that they are like the middle person. They will receive your funding, and then there are expert fund investors who look out for projects and invest in those projects. And then you have a stake. You have like a stake equity in that business. You can, maybe you don't want to continue. Of course, you get little dividends at a certain point, but if you want to liquidate, you want to sell off your shares, you can do that. WeFounder runs that model. That's the logo there. Another WeFounder, okay, crowdfunding for startups and small businesses. Start Engine is also an equity crowdfunding system. Investment made with Start Engine, which is based in LA. There's something about Los Angeles. A lot of projects, a lot of crowdfunding projects happen. Los Angeles is where you have Hollywood. And a lot of the value chain in Hollywood, in the film industry, performing art industry, music, Hollywood, movies, and all that is so very much. And so there are a lot of businesses, from script writers to the production team, to the props, to the costuming, to fashion, to, all kinds of things happen in Los Angeles. All right. So it was launched in 2015, representing nearly 22% of the regulation crowdfunding total raised so far. Represent nearly 22% of the regulation crowdfunding that raised so far, according to SCE figures. Start Engine also raised $17 million from 6,600 investors under Regulation A for its client Elio Motors. That's how it looks like. So businesses that have been crowdfunded in Nigeria. So most of you don't know that certain businesses have been crowdfunded, and I would not be surprised if tomorrow eCooperative, you just hear in the news that eCooperative was funded with $200 million. I'm sure you heard that Paystack was not crowdfunded. It was money's investors, VCs came and put in money. All right, but let's see particular businesses in Nigeria that were crowdfunded, that they started as a small business like you and I, but people gave them resources. Either a lot of people give them in one of these platforms like Kickstarter or one of these platforms, and they receive funding to launch, and they are big companies. Life Bank. Okay, I mentioned Paystack. Okay, that Paystack. The Paystack was crowdfunded. Over $200 million was given to Paystack. Life Bank was given, to Paystack. Farm Crowdy. I don't know if you've heard of Farm Crowdy. It was given. Started off today. It's also like a kind of you can put in money for farms. All right. There's also Princivo. Princivo is a printing business, online printing business, and it received a lot of its money from crowdfunding. We have Minds.io. That one that looks like butterfly is called Flutterwave. Flutterwave. We have Hotels.ng. Interestingly, it's from the person who started Hotels.ng. His name is Mike Essien. Yes, Mike Essien. Mike Essien is from Akwa Ibom, where I'm from. I don't know, there's something about Essien and enterprises, and there's something about us. Hotels.ng, fantastic way you can connect with different hotels wherever you are in Nigeria. Thrive Agric is also a crowdfunding name. Publicia. These are businesses that were crowdfunded. So is it possible that your business can be crowdfunded in Nigeria? Yes, if you plug into eCooperative, now that we are starting and we're doing all of this, all that everybody is coming together, it will explode. When it explodes very soon, you want to be among those people that will benefit from it. So everything they tell us to do in crowdfunding, in eCooperative, do it. They tell you go and sell, go and start selling on the platform. A time will come when you put your post out on eCooperative, you will need admin to approve it. Now that it's free, you're not using it. It's now when it's time for you to get approval from admin, you now start requesting. Why don't you take advantage? You, as a member of eCooperative, you automatically have access to upload anything on the eCooperative.shop. So go to eCooperative.shop and then put in your username and get started. Or you can go from your ecooperative.africa platform, click on eCooperative.shop, and then begin to upload those shoes, those bags, those things. Even if they're not your product, put those products, calculate profit and make profit. So there's a natural fit, between cooperatives and crowdfunding, because it's about communities, it's about people coming together, about putting money together. So eCooperative is a crowdfunding platform, but not just a crowdfunding platform, it does a few other things. Primarily, eCooperative is that platform that enables you to raise funds for your projects, enables you to raise funds for projects, whatever project. There are many ways to raise funds from projects, okay? We have partnership. If you look up for the right partners, then like I used to tell people, I say, when a man of ideas meets a man of money, exchange will occur. It will occur because the idea that you're bringing forth, the concept that you're bringing forth is authentic, it has been validated, it has become profound. Through thinking, through all kinds of things, you put out it's not just an idea, it's a business plan. When an idea is written down on paper, well articulated, well thought through, when an idea answers the question any investor will have at the back of his mind, that idea is not just an idea, it's now a business plan. Okay, because the thing you must understand about investors is that investors crave for information. When you're able to answer the question that an investor has at the back of his mind, it's now moved from idea to being a business plan. When your business plan is, your business plan contains everything about your business. All right. And most companies, most VCs and angel financiers want your business plan. But there's also something called a proposal. What's a proposal? A proposal is primarily when you write a plan, and that plan is focused more on the marketing side of it, the marketing, the competitive advantage of the business. So it's not as bogus, as bulky as a business plan. The business plan is thorough. The proposal is flashy. It focuses on the numbers, the financials. It focuses on what the investor or the partner needs to see, especially as regards the numbers, regards the marketing, regards outwitting the competitors, regards market penetration. Those are the things that the investors want to see. The investor has questions. The investor craves for information. And the person who is putting out that plan or proposal needs to have this. That's where you can have. So when a man of money meets a man of concrete business plan, exchange invariably or inevitably occurs. This happens, all right? So partnership is one way to raise funds for your project. A pitch is an idea that is spoken. A plan is an idea that is written. When you put out a plan, so when you pitch, you stand before investors, and you can get money from investors like VC or angel financiers to give you money. You can also get money from customers. There are people that as long as you can communicate your value, if you communicate your value very well to them, they'll listen to you and they'll give you money. All right. So one of the things you must learn to do is how to pitch, how to communicate the value of your product and business, how to sell, that project to those customers. And when a customer gives you money ahead, without seeing the product, it gives you money with anticipation that you go and produce the product and give him that value. What he has done is called pre-order. So another way to raise funds in any system is to pre-order. Pre-order is when a customer gives you money without, like you do that in real estate. They'll take it to a land. They'll say, okay, you can, they will not even show, they only show you the picture of the land. They'll tell this building is going to come up and then they're going to have this flat. They will show you the pictures of the flat you're going to have. And they will tell you to give them the money ahead. If they're able to communicate it well, and you trust them, you give them the money. Most people are doing that in Lagos. There's no building has been done. You take that money from a number of people, and then they'll go and build. So you can raise funds from investors. You can also raise funds from your customers. There are many other ways to raise funds. You can raise funds through barter. Barter means that you have a certain value. You don't have money, but you have a certain valuable knowledge or a valuable expertise, a valuable give it in exchange for money. All right. There was a time I wanted to get a hall, and this company that had this hall, I knew that they needed training on certain areas, customer service and so on. I'm talking about 2010. And then the hall was very high. I couldn't afford to do it. You know what I did? I went there, I was able to communicate the value that I did my training will do for their staff. And I told them, in exchange for that training, they shouldn't give me money, they should give me the hall. At the time, it was worth 500,000 naira. That was in 2010. And so I raised funding, I raised 500,000 naira worth of venue without paying any money by using the system of barter. I've done that severally, So barter is another way to raise funds. When you give information, give a connect, just exchange for certain things. I've done that before. All right. Launching is another way to raise funds. When you get people to launch a product it's also another way to raise funds. So there are many ways to raise funding. The lowest way to raise funds is through savings. Just save. And I've told you that the benefit of saving is that savers are not losers. Savers have at least something to start. They have something to start. When the investor is having a conversation with you, you want to know how much are you willing to risk? How much do you have already in your hands? And if you don't have something, they will not work with you. So saving is another way to start. Okay, and eCooperative gives you that opportunity. Most importantly, you can also save in crypto. Like I told you, most of you need to start learning to save in crypto. And more importantly, one way you can also raise funds is through cooperative. Either you join a cooperative or you create a cooperative. That is what this business is all about. Hope this makes sense to you. So that is the concept of eCooperative. Now, the eCooperative is now email. It is now taking that platform online. People say, someone told me, eCooperative is like MMM. I'm like, whoa, I don't know about that. I do know that there is no cooperative without donations and contribution. It doesn't work. You have to have contributions. All right. You have to have money to get started. And that is very vital. So guys, the eCooperative is a cooperative. So there's donations. Yes, there's donations. But the beautiful thing about this business is that there is exchange of value. Issue of value. When you give that 2,000, you need to have 2,000. When you give that 2,000, what you get back in return is materials, access to that donation, the project, access to savings, access to selling on the platform. So it's a very massive opportunity that I trust that you take advantage of. All right. So it's run by 4x4 metrics where you have 4, 16, 64, 256. All right. And that is what this business is all about. A lot of us here who are here are already members, so I'm not going to go over the opportunity. I'm just going to stop there today. We've done at least a few minutes, and I'm sure that you got value. If you have any questions, I'll take those questions now. Any questions you have about eCooperative, please ask me now, and I'll make sure that I answer them for you. Please make sure you ask now. So now the new development I've told you, I've highlighted the new development for you. One is that you can take advantage of the shop, sell there. You can now, there's also a referral system on the shop. There's certain people that don't want them to join your link. You don't want them to join your system and stall you. You can get them to join the shop. There's a link, there's a referral link. If you get your shop, there's a referral link for just people who want to sell on the platform. And for everybody who signs up through that link, you get 1,000. So go copy your link, talk to somebody about it. If the next person wants to sell on the platform, person makes payments to the eCooperative account, and once they do that, the next thing is that the 1,000 is credited to your account. You see it on your dashboard. 1,000. Once it hits 10,000, click on withdraw, and then you can make it in less than an hour. That money is transferred to you. That's the new development that I told you about. I think I showed you the last time we had class. And another, you can have multiple accounts now with one phone number, one email. If you're on level 4, you can have multiple accounts. If you're on level 2, you can have 2 more accounts. If you're on level 3, you can have 3 more accounts. If you're level 1, you can have 1 more account. If you're on level 4, you can have 4 more accounts. And you can do a lot with that. I also said to you, also very important, that people are doing a lot of stuff. All right? People are doing stuff right now on the system. And I want to encourage you to be if you made a mistake with your first account, do something about your second account. Let's win. The Christmas period is coming. Let's make sure we win. Today might be our last day. I will give you information if we're going to have meetings tomorrow. Today might be our last day, doing this 30 days. So what I want to encourage you to do now is do more of your WhatsApp meetings. Do more of your Zoom meetings. Talk to your people. Most people don't have money. Most of us are here, have Very smart. We have money to burn for data. We value, I must recommend us, we value information so very much. That's why we spend the data we're spending to be here. So we can hear about latest information.